to be honest. They look. In fact, they may not be able to win in a lingerie league. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, you take a team like Dallas, who's won one game, and they have exceptional talent, and then you take a team like the Chargers, who I read a stat that said they've had as many punts blocked on them this year as the rest of the NFL teams combined.
Wow.
And you know, what are they? They're 4-4 or something right now, is it?
Right,
So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you know, go figure. Who can figure this thing out? The NFL, the parodies.
Yeah, the parody's amazing. Now you look at some things going on. Brett Favre, who's throwing, you know, 446 yards, two touchdowns, 2 INTs. Actually, that was what I think he threw for all the touchdowns. They just happened to be 2 for the wrong team. If they can get Childress and get him to throw the right guys, he's really doing well.
Well, speaking of Favre, you know, just to throw this in real quick, I think he's going to get suspended for a game or 2 by the NFL for conduct detrimental to the league because of his flirtations with a Gaither High School alumni.
Jen Sturger, the whole sexting deal.
I think it's going to completely taint his legacy. He'll go down. His games will be suspended. We'll see what Goodell does. It'll be interesting.
Here's the deal for me. You know, he'll start games if he can stand up, and he'll be throwing from the time he leaves the tunnel to the time he goes back to the tunnel, and we'll see what happens with it. If anything, he'll go down firing, and that's one thing you know about Brett Favre. Got an email question coming in. See, Chris asked, what do you think of my Lions now? Well, Chris is a friend and pokes me on Facebook about the Lions. The only thing I can say for sure, Chris, is that Stafford looks good. Of course, the problem is Stafford is now injured, and they're not sure if he's going to come back. And this is one of those situations where you got a great promise for a team. He's a great draft pick, and you can't do anything with him. In terms of other NFL highlights, for those that have been watching the NFL, you know that we've been following Kansas City quite a bit at much of the urging of our regular caller, Bill, and they lost to Oakland. Janikowski came out and kicked a field goal with 3 seconds to go and then kicked in overtime to beat them. But the game that was really, really huge over the weekend for me was the Eagles against the Colts. Michael Vick looks so good. You know, 3 seconds to go when Asante Samuel intercepts, he was hugging people on the sidelines. He looked really, really happy. I mean, for me, it's just a great story of redemption. But it also points to the fact that Indianapolis is not invincible. You know, Peyton Manning is not Peyton Manning is a wonderful quarterback, and he's one of those guys that can fool guys. But he doesn't have one key piece right now. He doesn't have Clark. And he is not the same kind of quarterback with the same kind of scheme without being able to throw to Dallas Clark. So we'll see how that works out. In terms of other things going on, the Bengals, well, T.O. had a record day. He had 2 touchdowns. Ocho Cinco wasn't there this weekend, but they lose again. And I don't know if that team's going to start coming apart, you know, with all the egos and everything else.
I think Carson Palmer's played some pretty bad football this year compared to where he was, the high level he was playing at. He's thrown some bad balls. So, you know, I think you got to put some of the blame on his shoulders.
Yeah, that's true.
He's dropped it, you know, he's dropped off in play. I think there's been a little drop-off for him.
I mean, it's what do you do? What do you do? Well, heck, let's talk about the Bucs a little bit here. The home team, you know, they were close. You know, a half yard. For me, it was disappointing to watch that last drive. You get 4th down, you call timeout, you give the ball to LeGarrette Blount, and he kind of sidestepped around there trying to run over somebody. And it's a big back. I was kind of expecting to run somebody over. What did you think of it?
Well, I tell you, as a whole, as being a Tampa Bay fan, I'm just a fan of what the Bucs are doing this year. I never saw this coming, so I applaud their success. I think Raheem and Dominic have just done a great job assembling that team. The young guys, the receivers, you know, the pickup. You know, you get Blunt on waivers. I mean, what a steal! I mean, so.
Oh, and he's had some issues, but he's been a great guy.
Hitting the guy from Boise State in the face. Who wouldn't have hit the guy? I think the guy deserved to be hit in that situation.
The guy was in his face. I mean, the toughest thing for me was you know, he's got the ball, he gets the handoff, and he went east and west. He didn't go north and south.
Yeah, but I'll take that. At least they were fighting to be in position. Versus your buddy who wrote in about the Lions, whereas the Lions had a game taken from them from the NFL this year.
Oh my goodness!
At the end of the day, you can say the Bucs did everything they could to win the game.
Right.
And they lost the game. And it's not that one play that lost it. There was multiple plays. There's never one play that loses a game.
Right.
So, but I applaud them. They played to win. They played hard. They didn't go up there playing to tie. Raheem went for the victory. I applaud him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you got this young quarterback. What do you think about how Josh Freeman's doing?
You know, who are the 3 quarterbacks taken? You had Sanchez.
Right.
You had Stafford. And you had Freeman. without a doubt, in my opinion, I don't think Freeman was as prepared as Sanchez was last year to play. But this year, look at the play. I think without a doubt, he's head and shoulders above the other two.
Absolutely.
The reads he's making, he's leading the ball club with 5 fourth-quarter comebacks already.
Right.
I mean, I'm a fan. The guy's 6'6", 260.
Well, he's a big guy in the pocket, so you're
Yeah.
not going to bring him down. He's showing a lot of leadership. Tell you what, since we're talking about local sports, let's real quickly talk about the Bolts here.
Yeah.
The Lightning, started off the season very well, very strong. They went to the West Coast and lost a couple of games, but they came back home and won. And Dan Ellis is great in the pipes right now. The guys will be playing tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to watching that. Stamkos was made first star in October.
Yeah.
I mean, they are really playing strong, and we got Guy Boucher and Stevie Y. I mean, we got some things happening. So had some friends talking about that with me on Facebook. I really appreciate it. Keep talking to me about this as we go further into the season. We'll be talking more about the Lightning. Also, early in the season with the NBA, we have LeBron and the whole thing with D. Wade and Bosch, and they had a 22-point lead last night and blew it.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
No. Well, it'll take time. It's a long season.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll just have to see how it goes. But for me, the local team, the Magic, they beat that Heat team.
Yeah.
And they're looking good. They beat Atlanta, and Atlanta had been undefeated. So it'll be interesting to see them. They're playing tonight. In fact, they're playing right now against the Jazz. So that'll be fun to watch as we go further through the season. We'll be talking more about that. For you NASCAR fans out there, I don't know if anybody noticed, but Denny Hamlin won this weekend, and he overtook Jimmy Johnson for the Sprint Cup lead. And we're going to be following some of that. We got 2 races to go. They'll be in Phoenix. So a lot of excitement there. One more thing before we go. Tiger Woods is no longer #1 golfer in golf. Lee Westwood just took over that spot. So, we want to make sure that anybody that wants to continue this conversation with us, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find the shows also posted on YouTube. Upcoming in the next few weeks, our guest will be Charlie Hanna.
Good guy.
Yeah, former Buccaneer and former Raider. Also, Chris Hoven will be our guest next week. We look forward to seeing Chris. We want to thank you for being here, Jason, and talking a little bit about USF football and what's going on. We'd like to thank our underwriters. Sports Sound Off is sponsored by Team Alita, the IT professionals. And we also can't make it without thanking Zoodars for their support and their support of us. I can't make it without a pastrami sandwich with those guys. For those that want to, you can follow us, like I said, on YouTube or Facebook, or you can send me an email at sportssoundoff@aol.com. And then finally tonight, I'd like to thank our youngest viewers, those that our fans that have supported us over the time. Thanks, guys. We love you. And for all you sports fans, we'll see you the next time on Sports Sound Off.